Hey there, Tano. I'm Shadow Scythe, and today we're going to be doing something a little different when we take a look at one of my more underrated weapons when we get locked and loaded with the Tonkor. Now, if you guys have been playing Warframe for a while, then you know the Tonkor was like the shit back when it came out. To the point that everybody was using it, whether they were doing it legitimately or whether they were just being an uber troll and just bouncing their squad mates out into harm's way. At least back before they decided to nerf the ever-living shit out of it, taking away the ability to bounce your teammates and leaving the and then bringing in the whole self-damage thing. Let's see. Really? Really? I'll do this one. Really nothing all that good going on right now. Fuck it, I'll do this one. So, around when that happened, yeah, a lot of people's favoritism for the Tonkor died off. However, it honestly, if you had put the time into it back then, it was still a relatively fun weapon to use. It's a little more annoying to try to level up now, as most explosive-based weapons are.
You need them to open a relic,
just because of the fact that
Look out for reactant.
That's exactly why they're such a pain to level.
Reactant. You've been seen. The reactant is working on your relic. Find more.
Ouch. What? Okay, so... And also, just because it is technically a crit-based weapon, you guys are kind of seeing the reason as to why I don't put crit damage on explosive-based weapons. I'm just barely within that range, and it's blowing through all of my shields and health. And let me tell you, I have primed vigor, a maxed vitality, and a maxed steel fiber on this Saren. So yeah, this is the whole reason as to why I don't put crit damage on explosive weapons. Because it makes it all too easy to fucking kill myself. I also kind of wish that I didn't have as many enemies. Okay, on that note, I think you guys have seen enough of the Tonkor, so fuck it.
That's it. You open the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Just because at least I don't have to be super hesitant when trying to kill shit with this. So this is also another one of my underrated weapons, so I guess we'll make this a special double build video on the Brakk and the Tonkor. Ouch. as it's not a Nox, I don't really care. And although, yes, I am basically mixing and matching all of my attacks between abilities and my primary, secondary, and melee weapons. The melee weapon's gonna be another video on its own. Nope.
We've been locked out. Let's override the security.
Alright. Ah, fuck, I don't have the energy. Die.
Override successful. Let's get going.
Alright. See what I mean? Like, I'm getting through this a lot faster doing the mixed match than just trying to do a single weapon. Why did I shoot you in the face after casting an ability on you?
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run.
Yay!
Successful mission. Find extraction.
Alright, I ain't worried about killing the rest of them just because they're gonna infospawn, which means I can get the fuck out of Dodge. Galton Prime Blade, a whopping 9 Void Traces, boo. But anyway, now that this is all said and done, you guys will get to see the amount of bullshit that I've pretty much been going through for the past couple of days. I had to reforma this Saren once. I actually put Forma into the Tonkor for the first time. And this thing isn't fun to level with that self-damage. Ugh. I also did the same thing with the Brakk. Anyway, first up is the Tonkor build.
If I may say, operator, your
As you
chosen
can
Warframe
see, I had to
suits
put
you.
in a whopping 5 Forma into this son of a bitch. And you saw how easily it killed me. Anyway, here's what we've got for the build. Serration, Heavy Caliber, Split Chamber, Piercing Caliber, Primed Cryo Rounds, Point Strike, Thermite Rounds, and Vital Sense. As you can see, I had to Forma in 4 V polarities, 1 dash polarity, and a D polarity. Now, obviously, I will have to throw in at least another V to where whenever I get around to maxing out Prime Cryo Rounds and eventually Heavy Caliber, I'm going to need that extra polarity to free up some of my mod capacity. Because essentially I need at least 3 more points for my mod capacity.
Ordis has been counting stars, operator. All accounted
But
for.
here, these right here to crank the crit chance up to that whopping 62.5% with a 5.5 multiplier. Then split chamber just for the innate multi-shot, which, well, I can't say innate multi-shot. It doesn't have its own multi-shot. So basically, throwing on split chamber it raises your status chance a little bit, but then, as with all weapons, when you put multi-shot on them, you also do slightly raise their base damage, because it's accounting for the damage of all projectiles fired, not just one. Then prime cryo rounds and thermite rounds together to raise the blast up to that whopping 7769.1. Piercing caliber to crank puncture up to 1157.9. And then obviously heavy caliber insuration to raise damage. And I don't worry too much about the accuracy penalty with the Tonkor if you guys decide to do this, just because you like the weapon. Because here's the thing, although when you look at the Tonkor stats on paper and it has that accuracy of 100, all that heavy caliber is gonna, well, its accuracy isn't even a true 100. Now what it may do is, if you don't put heavy caliber on there, yes, it may actually go the full thing instead of kind of overshooting or undershooting whenever you're looking at something. But you can easily counteract that like you would with a bow and just aim a little bit higher. Because other than that, the accuracy means nothing when the grenade can bounce. So don't even worry about the accuracy penalty. Just use the environment to your advantage. Anyway, that's it for the Tonkor. Now for the Brakk. Now the Brakk is a special Grineer-based secondary because the only way to get it and its parts is by fighting and beating the Grustrag 3. Oh, and as you can see, I actually am missing a mod. That's embarrassing. But you guys just saw which one I put on there, so it's all good. Now, if I had to guess, actually let me look at the base stats because I don't even remember. It's a even 15% crit, 15% status, so really you could build it either way. As you can see, I kind of went more of the status route with it. Anyway, here is the total for your build. Ice Storm, Scorch, Magnum Force, Pummel, which I intended to put on prior to the video. However, obviously I forgot. Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent, Primed Heated Charge, and Hornet Strike. Now, I've got Ice Storm on there to raise the magazine capacity and give you that little bit of cold damage. Because as you can see, your magazine size is only 5 rounds, but with Ice Storm it raises it up to 7. So I'm perfectly fine with getting those 3 extra shots before having to reload. Then Scorch to help raise status chance, as well as Primed Heated Charge to couple those together with Ice Storm for Blast, just because this is a shotgun pistol that you can see hits much harder than the Bronco or the Ock Bronco used to. I still haven't taken a look at the changes that they made to those weapons, so that'll happen at some point. Then we have Barrel Diffusion and Lethal Torrent to help also raise the status chance. But then those are coupled with Hornet Strike to raise all damage types on the weapon. As well as with Lethal Torrent, then I get a little bit of an increased fire rate from 5 rounds per second to 8. Or is it 5 rounds per minute? I don't really remember. And then obviously Pummel to raise up the impact damage, as because of the fact that the Brakk with no mods on it, its base damage types are impact, puncture, and slash. Slash being the second highest damage type on it, puncture being the lowest, and impact being the highest. As you can see here from me switching configurations to show you guys some stuff, base impact is 90, puncture is 50, and slash is 60. So, while yes, it is more optimal to throw on impact damage, that is the advantage with it having all of those at a relatively high starting point, is you could literally substitute pummel with maim or bore to raise the respective damage types and make this weapon all the more ideal against any enemy type. Just as you could basically sub out Ice Storm, Scorch, and Primed Heated Charge for the respective, well, Primed Heated Charge can be subbed out for Convulsion or Pathogen rounds, not so much Deep Freeze because it's a different polarity. But you could sub that out to give you, as well as subbing these out for different dual stat mods, to give you different elemental combos to be all the more useful against enemy types. I just prefer using Blast on it because I don't intend to get I don't really intend to get close enough to them for this to one-shot whatever it is that I'm using it on. This is more or less just something that while I'm running around with Saren, I can shoot at them, have a nice little window to pop spores, and if it triggers the status proc, they get knocked on their ass. Anyway, that's all that I have to show you guys for today. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. The more that I see this channel grow, the happier I get. Because that shows me that you guys actually at least somewhat enjoy the content that I put out. So it is a really, really nice feeling to see the impact that makes. As always, you guys can follow me on Twitter and player.me for all things related to YouTube, Twitch, and IRL for anything that could cause delays and or cancellations. If you like this video for whatever reason, hit that like button and subscribe. And if you guys would like to help support the channel in any way, shape, or form, check out the game list link in the description box below. However, before I go, there is one more thing that I want to say. As of, well, not too long ago, I had actually commissioned a new channel artwork. I've gotten the rough sketch so far, so that has all been taken care of, and it is in the process of being finalized. Once it is finalized, we will have a brand new channel logo on YouTube and Twitch, as well as a new profile picture on player.me and Twitter. And when that happens, we're also going to be changing the old intro sequence as well. So I hope you guys are all looking forward to seeing that, because I've got some stuff in mind as to what I want to do with it. But I'm not going to go into details on that just yet, because I'd like for it to be a surprise for you guys. So, once again, thank you guys for all the support that you've given me throughout these several months of me doing this. And until next time, Tenno, stick to the shadows.